Greetings, knowledge seekers. My name is Priyanjoni, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you how I use the AlphaTheta HDJ F10 wireless DJ headphones in my unique setup at a recent show and how I could not have done it with any other headphone.
Priyanjoni, may the force be with you.
This video is brought to you by Direct Music Service, a place for DJs to get their music from. Discount codes below. Full disclosure, I am a product demonstrator for AlphaTheta, but this video is my opinion alone and is not in collaboration with the brand. So for those of you that know me, you know that I don't just perform on DJ gear, I often bring musical instruments, especially my electric guitar, to the performance, whether it's to a club or to a show. One of the challenges to playing an instrument is that you absolutely need proper monitoring. I know that some DJs can get away without using a monitor, and that's fine. You're mixing pre-recorded music, and there's all sorts of tools to keep you always on beat. However, if you're playing a musical instrument or performing vocals, you absolutely need proper monitoring. You need to hear that you're hitting the right notes, or you could easily play out of beat or out of tune. Typically, musicians will often either use floor monitor speakers that are facing them, or they will use wireless IEMs or in-ear monitors. Now, the environment for a DJ performance is not exactly the ideal monitor setup. You might have a monitor or two that's facing the person behind the DJ gear, but as soon as you walk in front of the performance with your instrument, you're now outside the ideal sweet spot. This was actually the case at my recent show at a venue called Lefty's Live Music, where I brought my Ciari Ascender Standard. There just wasn't space to add a floor monitor out in the front where I walked in front of the DJ gear. On standby, I even had my Wave 8 speakers in the car just in case I decided I needed additional monitors. Now, some of you might ask, why don't you just use IEMs? Well, if all I was doing was only playing guitar, that would be great. However, I'm going back and forth between playing guitar and the DJ gear. I personally prefer using traditional over-the-ear headphones with the DJ gear for cueing and beat matching. Having headphones that you can take on and off is important for being able to gauge the volume in the space as well as being able to listen to the crowd. If I had IEMs, I would have to remove them to be back on the DJ gear, then put them back on when I'm ready for the guitar. And yeah, I know some DJs who like to use the IEMs as their DJ headphone, but it's not my preference. It's important for me to hear what's happening acoustically. And to add to the complexities, I would have to have a receiver on me. So this is where the HDJ F10 really shine for me. The same wireless headphones that I'm using with the DJ gear, which happens to be the Pioneer DJ XDJ RX3 all-in-one, is simply the same headphones I wore to monitor my guitar performance. I simply set the headphone cue to master, set the volume somewhere comfortable, then brought in the guitar at a desired volume and walked to the front of the stage to perform. Now, I always get someone in the comments asking me if the 9 milliseconds is noticeable on the HDJ F10 when DJing. I'm of the belief that if you can play a musical instrument through the HDJ F10s, not missing a beat on each note, then it's more than adequate for the simple task of beat matching. And I want to add that I'm also using an inexpensive digital wireless guitar system, which also adds latency to the guitar signal, and yet I'm still able to play note for note in real time. If you've ever tried to play a musical instrument with a huge lag, say like through a Bluetooth speaker, or setting the buffer really high on Ableton while trying to play a MIDI keyboard, you should know how hard it is to stay on beat. There's even a point where your ears and the mechanical movement cannot compensate for the offset timing. Musically, your body wants to play in real time, and it can compensate only for a tiny amount before you start noticing the offset. So my big concluding opinion here, and why I had to give a disclosure, is if you as a musician can perform with a musical instrument through these headphones, then it should be no issue to be able to simply DJ with them. Now, I know it's not as elegant as using IEMs, and I would have to avoid headbanging while playing guitar if I'm using them, but the F10s gave me the freedom to be able to play note for note on beat without taking the risk of playing without properly hearing the music. So if you found this video helpful, be sure to like it, subscribe, and click that bell icon so you'll be notified of new videos as they come out. Also, if you've never seen a fully cosplay Star Wars wedding, well, watch my wife and I's wedding in this film right here.